Hey everybody, this is Captain Eat here with you for another Shera and the Princess of Power episode review. This is gonna be Shera and the Princess of Power season 5, episode 5, titled Save the Cat. So let's get into it. So the beginning of the episode starts off with Dora inside a Mars spaceship going straight towards Ward Prime. You're watching this, you're like, what is she doing? She's going straight there. A tractor beam grabs the spaceship, pulls it in. She walks out, she goes, hey, I'm unarmed. I got nobody inside. I came alone. A couple clones do go inside to check, and they're like, "Yeah, there's nobody else in here." She goes, "See, I've been hearing this Ward Prime wants to see me, so here I am." A few clones grab her and put her hands behind her back, and they walk her in. And then we get to see Entraptor, Glimmer, and Bo. They were hiding out, and they're gonna sneak around to find Capture. While Endora is like, talking up Horde Prime, and we get to see Glimmer in his spacesuit. Now, this is my second time recording it, and I try to show her in a spacesuit. We get a better look at it later on, but in this one moment she has a helmet on. Unless it looks kind of funny with her helmet on, but it's too bright, you can't really see it too well. So I'm guessing they were like hiding on the outside of the spaceship because Entraptor was like really surprised that the spacesuits that they were wearing could like withstand the velocity and everything of like re-entering in somewhere. And Glimmer's like, "Wait, you didn't test this? You had us wearing this?" And Bo's like, "We're in. They have little communicators inside their ears, and their spacesuits are so funny because the door has a hole in it for a ponytail. Glimmer has a hole in hers. Not like a hole, like a clear, transparent like circle, has a transparent circle on hers to show like the little diamond oval right here. And Trapta has one just to show like all over right here for no reason. And Bo has one to show his belly button because he always like rips his shirt off. Not his shirt, his like whole shirt, but he gets the bottom of it. That's so funny that they just have that for the spacesuits. And oh yeah, I forget. And the Trapta also has holes in hers so her hair can poke out because she can move her hair around, sort of like Doctor Octopus's hands and stuff like that. So we see Adora walking in, and then we get the theme song. After the theme song, we cut over to everybody talking inside their little walkie-talkie earpieces. Oh, that's what they're called, earpieces. And we get the whole game plan. And Trapta and Bo are gonna find the server room so they can hack into it, so they can find any weak points inside of Horde Prime's mothership or any weak points in his whole plan or whatever. Number two, Glimmer kind of knows the layout of this place, kind of. So she should know where the holding cell is, where she's gonna hold Catra. So she's gonna go there and get Catra out. While Door, obviously, they could bring her to Horde Prime, have Horde Prime talk and talk a lot to distract him, so he doesn't know what we're doing. Okay, that's the game plan. There was one little funny moment with Entrapta because she goes, "Okay, I understand the game plan, what we're doing, but while we're here, do you mind if I look around and try to get some readings?" And Bo just grabs her and starts dragging her. She goes, "Okay, okay, I get it. To the server room." So, we cannot be distracted in a place like this. It's a bit too dangerous. You just gotta drag her wherever you gotta go. So we see Adora walking in to talk to Horde Prime in like the I guess I'm gonna call this like the throne room. You see him. Let me see her talking to Horde Prime in the throne room, and when she goes in there, Horde Prime is hooked up to his chair, and he has a bunch of his like dreadlocks that have the needles in it is hooked up to his chair, and it's producing this green ooze that's going through the tubes and going onto him, and we see a bunch of green cracks on him, and he does explain exactly what he's doing later on. And I didn't show it here, but we also see some of the Horde Prime clones all around the walls, but they're in like these little pods. And like I said, he'll explain what he's doing later on because we cut over to Glimmer, and Glimmer's walking around and she's starting to panic a little bit. And I kind of understand, she was kidnapped in this place for a good while. I'm gonna say like two, 2 to 3 weeks. She was kidnapped in this place, so she's looking around. The hallways are looking the exact same. She's starting to hyperventilate, and Bo calls her on the earpiece like, "Hey, you doing okay?" She goes, "Yeah, I am." "What, are you worried about me?" He goes, "I don't know, maybe." Ah, these two. They're gonna get together. It's like, come on, it's so obvious. That was a really sweet scene though. Anyway, and Trumpta, she is just panicking. They've been walking around for a little bit and they cannot find the server room. It's such a huge and big maze inside of here. I like this one callback. She says, "Where are all the vents? How do people even get around?" Because she's a lot of walking and going through the vents inside the fright zone. So I thought that was pretty funny how they brought that back. Anyway, Bo, he sees two clones walking by. So he grabs Entraptor and runs around the corner to hide. And Entraptor goes, "Hey, look, there's a huge door there. That has to be the server room, right?" They walk inside of it, and no, there's just a bunch of pods with clones in it. And there's two clones like typing on a computer. And obviously they see Entraptor and Bo rush in. And Bo goes, "You're not going to believe this, but we're the Expectors." Obviously, they don't believe it, and they close the door behind Bo and the chapter and start to attack them. It's funny because Bo's trying to like make up some stupid lies talking about he's the expected. He just seeing Trapper. She's just in awe, of, like all the technology around him. So she's like, "Wow, look at this! This is amazing!" She just sucks in awe of everything that she's looking at. We cut over to back we cut back over to a door and we hear like the static. Well, not that we hear them yell and it just cuts off in the earpiece. But she has this thing, stone cold in her face. So she goes, "Okay, this is what's gonna happen. Let's make a deal. You give me back in trap. I mean, you give me back capture. We leave, no problems. You stop going after Etheria. You leave us alone for the rest of your life. How about that?" I'm like, she is. She would have got Shera no more. She talking like this, kind of crazy. Ford Prime gets up from his chair, and all the tubes like disconnect, and he says that he's kind of sorry for Adora seeing him this way. It's a meaningless task that he has to do to stay young. He's been around since the first one, and that was like 1,000 plus years ago. Obviously, he's old. He's very, very old. He said the clones give him life. And we see clones in like pods. So I'm guessing obviously he makes clones anytime he needs to rejuvenate himself to stay young and so he doesn't die of old age. He has the clones give their life force to him in this green ooze, and he has to sit down in the chair for like, I don't know, like an hour or so he can like replenish himself. I guess he's been doing that for like, thousands of years, centuries. He's been doing that for a very long time. And he also says that Adora looks very familiar. He goes, I crushed the first ones beneath my foot 1,000 years ago. They were very annoying. And you're a descendant of them, huh? That means I killed your ancestors. And obviously, Adora's like really shocked that he's the one that took out the first ones. And obviously, that's probably why they wanted to use a heart of Patheria or even make it in the first place to kill Horde Prime. I think that was kind of obvious, but this is like he's like, oh, that's why they had the sword and the Shera to control their heart of Etheria. That could be a big enough weapon to one shot Horde Prime. Um, Wait, did they also bring that up? I think she also was like telling Horde Prime that, I have the heart of Etheria and I can use it to kill you. So you just need to give me Catra. Oh, the Horde Prime is like, this looks a liar. If you had the heart of Etheria, you would have been used it on me. I've been jacking up Etheria for a good while now. He doesn't specifically say this, but I've been using up Etheria, your home planet, for a good while now. You would have been wiped me out if you could, which means you can't. So stop lying right now, man. I'm not dumb. I've been alive for a good minute. We cut back over to Bo, and he's fighting off. It's only two clones in this room, and he's like having trouble. I mean, they are like jumping around like animals, but he takes out one and he's fighting the other one. While he's doing that, we see one clone in a pod, and he's just standing there. And Trapta walks over to him because she thinks that this is Hordak. So she pulls out that piece of first one technology that he had in the middle of his like battle suit. She goes, "Hordak, it's me. This is Hordak, right? Come on, Hordak, don't you remember me? Don't you remember this? Oh no, sorry, this reverse. Don't you remember this? Don't you remember me?" And Hordak starts. Well, this is not wrong. Hordak. That's what they call him. Starts to attack and trap the. And obviously she's like, "Okay, this isn't Hordak. This is not the right Hordak." And Bo shoots an electric arrow at him, and it electrocutes him, obviously. But when it does that, it disconnects him from the hive mind, from all the other clones, specifically Horde Prime, and he starts freaking out. He goes, I'm not connected to the hive mind anymore. I can't feel the other's thoughts. Horde Prime can't feel my thoughts. How is he gonna know that I worship him? This is so bad. And he just starts breaking down, crying. And Bo's like, okay, stop making so much noise. Hey, it's okay. We'll tell Horde Prime how much you're devoted to him. He goes, really? You do that? You know Horde Prime? I was like, yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Let me accompany you so I can tell him how grateful I am to you guys for doing this for me. Come on, let's go. And obviously, he doesn't really want him to come with us, but Traptor's like, hey, can you open doors? Because the door that was closed and Traptor tried to open it earlier and didn't work. So he just looks at the door and opens it, and then Traptor's like smiling, and Bo's like, no, we are not taking this guy with us. Although he's dead weight, number one. Number two, he's a clone of Horde Prime. And he's worse again. We're not taking this thing with us. So he goes, come on. He's breaking down crime. Hey, this is kind of your fault. You disconnected him from the hive mind. Now look at him. All right, fine. You know what a server room is? He goes, of course I do. Come on. And he points. But for some reason, I guess he's still kind of like groggy from the electrocuting arrow that got stabbed in his chest. So he like flops over so boss like carry him. So okay, he's gonna sold them to the server room. We cut over to Glimmer, and she finds the holding cell, but when she goes inside of it, there's nobody there. And she goes on the communicator. She goes, "This is bad. Hatcher's not here. Where's she gonna be at?" But also can hear static, so she's starting to panic a little. And I wonder why it worked for her but not them. Because so far, all we ever seen the primes do is just touch the green like generator, or not like the green like wall, and it will open or close or whatever. Capture did it, Glimmer do it, it does it automatically. Trapper does it, no. I wonder what's the difference. I didn't even see Glimmer do anything different. All he did was touch it like anybody else. So I don't know. I would say Patra was like integrated into the system, maybe because they were working together, but definitely not Glimmer. She was the prisoner. She was the prisoner, so I doubt it. We cut back over to Horde Prime, and Horde Prime's just taunting a door as usual. But then he brings out Patra, and he brainwashed Catra with a little microchip thingy in her neck. And he also cut her hair too. And I hated this. I remember I was spazzing at my cousin that got me into Shera because I was like, Catra doesn't look good like this because her hair was like so big and poofy. See, it like took away how big her ear was. Now her head is like super small, like these huge, big old ears, and her hair. I was like, yeah, I do not like this new cut for her. He was like, I understand what you're saying, but it's like whatever. I mean, they had to cut her hair to like surgically put the thing on her neck, so it makes sense. But still, I hated this. And we get a good look at the chip in her neck later on. Actually, I think we see it. Yeah, yeah, later on. Okay, yeah. I thought it was like right here, but it's like later on. And obviously, Adore's like really surprised because also you saw her eyes were green. And then we cut back over to Bo, Wrong, Hordak, and Entrapta. So while they're walking around, they're actually kind of lost. Wrong Hordak apologizes because Horde Prime made it to where only the people with a hive mind can understand how to navigate this whole spaceship. Since he's not connected to the hive mind, he's honestly kind of lost. But then Entrapta can sense a huge energy source behind this wall on her temp pad. Is it called a temp pad? I think so. She goes, well, this has to be the server room. They walk inside and I mean, yeah, she was right. It's the server room. So they got it. And we cut back over to a door, and boom. Okay, here we go. This is the chip I was talking about. That's in the back of Catcher's neck. That's controlling her. So, wait, did I mention like the Winter Soldier? I think I did. When I was watching this, I was like, I gotta put that in the thumbnail if I can. But then there's no room in the picture. I can. And I say this all the time, but if you're watching the video, you clicked on the thumbnail. But I make it after I watch the episode because I gotta see what a good thumbnail moment will be. So, so I don't know at this moment if I can or not. Anyway, Ward Prime taunts Adore with Capture being control, saying that he actually freed Capture because before he did this, when he was looking inside of her mind, all that he saw was rage and sadness. Doing this to her, actually helping her, is actually getting away from the pain that you caused her. And I'm gonna know he's just saying that to like, to push her buttons. And Catcher even says that too. She will probably say that realistically, but she's also saying this because she's being mind controlled. But every time they said that, I'm like, Adora didn't even do anything. Like I kept saying that in my mind, like, what does he do to her? Like what? Makes no sense. But obviously they're just saying that just to get at the door, just to jab at her. So yeah, makes sense. So Horde Prime says that he has a deal for Adora. Actually, he goes, "I'll give you capture if that's what you really want, but you have to give me Sierra." Obviously, he goes, "Never." Or Prom goes okay. He snaps his fingers, and all of the earpieces with glimmers, bows, and travelers and Adora's all like short circuit, and it falls out Adora's ear, and he just crushes it on his foot. He goes, "You miscalculated. I know all. I see all. Of course, I will see this little plan of yours. I'm not stupid. You just killed all your friends. And I know you've been waiting to see Catcher for a while, so I'll leave you to it." And so he leaves with all his clones. So now it's just Catcher and a door inside of the throne room, and the Catcher's going to attack a door. And we cut over to Glimmer, and a bunch of clones have to come from like the side. And Glimmer sees the not the armory, but that room that Horde Prime told her of like all the artifacts from all the other planets that he took over. He runs into that room, and all the clones like run past. And then we cut back over to Adora and Katra. And well, what I just said happened, how they leave. So I got ahead of myself. I got a little bit of ahead of myself, a little bit. Um, so they start fighting. We cut over to Glimmer while they're fighting, and while they're fighting, go to Glimmer, and Glimmer sees a bunch of like weapons on the side of the wall, and she smiles, so she grabs one. And then we cut back over to them fighting again, and while they're fighting, Captain's getting some good hits in. A door like slams her and throws her into like a staircase, and it hits the thing on her neck, and every now and again, Catcher will like phase back in and look at the door all scared, and then the mind control will take back over, and the door trying to talk her to fight the mind control. Catcher's like taunting her like you caused me all this pain, everything will be okay. We come over to Horde Prime, just a back and forth thing. And there was also a moment to where Catcher almost fell off the legs, and the door went to go save her, and Horde Prime took over her, and what was he saying? I think he said, I know one thing he said. He was like, she was fighting so ruthlessly before we did this to her. He didn't say that specifically, but he was hinting that, like she was like fighting for her life, obviously, before he, did that surgery to get that thing on her neck. And obviously Adora's crying. And then we cut back over to Entraptor's group and inside the server room, and a ton of clones are like filling up the room. And Bo's fighting him off, but he's getting overwhelmed. And so is Horde, no, not Horde Prime, wrong Hordak. He's helping Bo fight these clones off because he's thinking, like, we're doing this for Horde Prime. What's your problem? Why are y'all attacking us? This is for Horde Prime. Bo's telling Entraptor to hurry up and hacking the server system, but she goes, I can't just hurry up. This is a lot more complex and yeah, just complex. I was trying to give another word, but this is a lot more complex than I thought. I'm gonna need a lot more time hacking into it than I thought. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time. I'm getting overwhelmed with all these clones coming in constantly. Eventually, Bo does get overwhelmed and he gets slammed. And one Horde Prime, one clone was going to stab him with an arrow, but my girl Glimmer, she comes from out of nowhere and wham, smacks him in the neck. He goes, I hated that guy in particular, especially all the guys I hit along the way. I was like, ugh, okay. That's what I'm talking about. And we get this one funny moment to where they're like yelling at Traptor to hurry up. We just see Glimmer grab her like bow staff thingy that she took off the wall and go, yeah. Just, just, just whacking this one clone over and over. Like, gotta feel bad for him. Look at, oh wait, let me move it over some more. Look at that. Ugh. He's just smacking the mess out of him. Glimmer tells Entraptor to hurry up, but Entraptor says, well, exactly the same thing. Like, it's going to take me some time. And Glimmer goes, okay, maybe we can't hack him, but we can at least hurt him. So she runs up to the control panel and just rams her bow staff thingy into it, and it causes an electrical reaction, and the whole server room blows up. And obviously, like, they're running out while it's blowing up. So they start to run out. And oh yeah, I saw the moment, right? When they hugged, it was kind of quick, so I guess I'll pause it when Glimmer and Bo hugged. That was a sweet moment too. But like I said, they ran out, and then we cut back over to Adore and Counter fighting against each other. Here we go. So it was kind of a quick moment, so I guess I'll screenshot it. I was gonna make this the thumbnail, but I found a better thing that makes a lot more sense for the thumbnail. But hey, at least you got to see it here during the video. 20 minutes in, so I don't know how many people will actually see this, but at least I got it here just for reference in the future. Excuse me. So we cut back over to Adore and Catra. And it's the same thing, Horde Prime taking over Catra to talk to her, taunting Adore. There was this one point to where Adore was yelling at Catra to fight it, and she was like, what's she said? She said, "You never listen to anybody your whole life. Why are you gonna start now?" I kind of like that scene. Well, I like that line. So they're going back and forth. Catra is coming through, and it's going back out, and eventually um, what yeah, eventually, Captor comes all the way through, and she goes, "Are you really going to save me?" Dora goes, "Of course, I promise." She goes, "You promise? I promise." And they hug, and then a big electrical shock happens in her neck because of what Glimmer did to the server room. And then when Horde Prime kind of realizes, like, oh, she's gonna fight it and like come through, he goes, such wastefulness, and does another big electrical shock on her neck, and she passes out, and she falls over the legs, and Adora jumps, and then she wakes up because she passed out. And once he wakes up, a ton of clones come through, and Horde Prime is talking to the clones, and he goes, I'm sorry you had to end this way, because Catra, she's not moving. The was like shaking her, hugging her. She's not moving an inch. He goes, I'm sorry you had to end this way. Such wastefulness. So, how about that deal we proposed? Are you ready to give me Shera? Obviously, Adora, she is. She is mad, boys. She is mad. She gets up and she starts glowing, and she actually turns into Shera, baby. Shera is back, and she just conjures up another sword out of nowhere, and she has a new Shera form. Nice. She doesn't go through like a whole transformation like the last Shera form, but she has a new Shera form. She has magic within her, even without the sword. Even Madame Raz was saying that too. That it was just a sword. You are Shera. Okay, there was a Shera even before the first one made the sword. So I really like that. She has a new form. I saw somebody talk about this new Shera form online somewhere, and they were saying, "Oh, it's too bright." But you can kind of see it. It's too bright though. But they were like, the OCR form, her hair was like, oh wait, can you see it now? Usually when it does that, you can see it. Nah, well no, you can't. Okay, they were saying her OCR form, the hair was all poofy and wild because Adora wasn't fully embracing Siwa. She didn't really know that this was her and that and stuff like that. But this Siwa form, she's more not full of herself, but she's more what's it called? More sure of herself. There we go. More sure of herself. That's why she's more slimmer and she's taller. It's more sleek. It's not so bulky and everywhere. Like this is a more sure of herself, adore her Seaworld form and her abilities and her destiny. The other Seaworld wasn't. That's why her hair was like all crazy. Her everything else was like everything her was just so bulky, even the sword. But that was more slim and sleek design, and she's more sure of herself. Oh, they didn't like say all that in the show, but I saw somebody say that online, and I was looking at the two pictures. I'm like, okay, I can see what they're saying. Okay, that's cool. That's nice. So after that happens, obviously Adora just wipes the floor with all of these Hordax around her. Eventually, there's only one standing, and Horde Prime starts to look through him, and she just looks down at him. She goes, "You miscalculated," and keeps it moving. I was like, ugh. And obviously, Horde Prime is human. He's mad. I do want to show this one shot because Horde Prime's looking through that one clone, and so he's like watching on the TV, just looking at the door. Oh, okay. That was dope. And I was like I said, he is mad. Horde Prime is super duper mad right now. We cut back over to Bo's group running through the hallways trying to get out of there, but they're getting surrounded by clones. And the chapter says that I can't get us out of here, but all those moments that you told me not to tinker with the spaceship, I might have done that. So you won't be mad at me if I did? And he goes, look, if you can get us out of here, I will let you tinker with the spaceship as much as you want. She goes, really? He starts to do that like classic scream and Entrapta does. And she goes, Darla, and whistles. And we just hear a bunch of banging off to the side. And she was able to make the spaceship like come to her command, like what's the other robot name? Emily. Like walk run around like Emily, and it just busts through the wall and takes out all the clones. And I was like, Bone Glimmer's like, whoa, okay, let's get in there. Like, let's go. We got to get out of here. So before they do that, Dora comes in, will catch her. Obviously, everybody's surprised. Like, yo, she's in a Shera form. Shera's back. That's crazy. She gives Catra over to Glimmer and tells her to go. Her form is so glowy now. I don't know if I'll be able to show it. No, so it's so bright. But anyway, she gives it over to Catra. I mean, gives Catra over to Glimmer. They run it inside the spaceship. More clones have to come in, and Adora just summons her sword out of nowhere. Well, she did that in the first place too, because she didn't really have a sword to begin with, and she draws a bunch of lines in the air. And once she's done drawing them, she hits them, and it causes a huge shockwave. That was a pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Look at it. She just draws it in the air and goes, and just blows everybody back. She gets inside the spaceship. Darla is saying that the ship's integrity is like 30%. Everything's like they can't really move right now. Adora just touches her hand on the console panel. Everything that was red turns blue. It goes, welcome administrator. How are we doing today, Shera? Hey, Darla, take us out of here. Quick. She just straight face. I'm like, ugh, okay. Adora's not playing. So Darla gets up. It just rams right out of Horde Prime's mothership, and then we cut over to Adora hugging Catra. She goes, "Come on, Catra, don't give up on me now." And Adora starts to glow, and that glowiness starts to glow on Catra. So she's healing her. While this is happening, Bo and Glimmer just look at each other. They go, "Whoa!" I don't know why, but that was so funny. And Catra wakes up. I think, right? I think she wakes up if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to find a scene where they looked at each other. Oh yeah, they were like, "Whoa, that was what's going on?" Whoa, what's happening? I thought that was kind of funny to me. Um, does he wake up? I can't remember. I think so. Oh yeah, Captain wakes up. Adora D transforms, and then the very last scene of the episode is Hordak. Hordak's walking around helping all the other clones like rebuild all the junk that they destroyed, and he finds that piece of the first one technology that was in the center of his battle suit, and he just looks at it for a second. And he goes, "What the Entrapta?" And then we get the credits. Pretty good episode. I really like this episode. I was really panicking for a little bit because I kept thinking like, oh man, they're gonna get caught. Well, they're doing the most right now, just goofing around a little bit. Especially in trapped and wanting to walk off and do stuff. So ridiculous. But yeah, I this is a really good episode. Next episode, I like next episode, especially the episode after that. That's the episode I went crazy, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at the episode list to make sure. Okay, next episode 6. Yeah, episode 7. I love that episode. That's the episode I stopped at. Cause like I said, when the season 5 first came out, my cousin introduced me to Shera. He came over my house. I was in this room too. It's so funny because when I started the reviews, I was in my other room. That I moved back into this room. The last season of Shera. But we watched episode 1 to 7, and then he left because he had to go. And I stopped watching Shera for a while. Then eventually I just rewatch. I mean, not rewatch. I watched the rest of the series, but we stopped at 7. And 7's a good episode. I love 7. I can't wait till we get to episode 7. But yeah, that's the episode for you guys today. So like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I think all of them for being wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. All right.